Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the WWE Ultimate Edition 15 Ultimate Warrior figure from Mattel. Does this figure continue Mattel's absolutely dominant streak of the wrestling figure world with the Ultimate Editions? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks incredible, and by and large, it is actually just a repaint of the Amazon exclusive Ultimate Warrior that we got last year, 2021. So, same body, a lot of the same components. The only differences here are there are two different head sculpts, obviously the different colors, and the wristbands are the same that were used on the ringside exclusive Elite Collection Ultimate Warrior seen here. So as you can see, they're also reused with the jacket. We'll talk about that in the next section. So, obviously just a great figure, a lot of what we've seen in the Ultimate Edition before. So proportions are great, and they absolutely captured the look of the Ultimate Warrior in this great head sculpt, kind of similar to the Elite I just showed, but they kind of looks like they reined in the kind of purseness of the lips a little bit, so it doesn't look quite as ridiculous. Not that the Ultimate Warrior was not ridiculous, especially as a character, and it looks good, and the hair's got a nice wash to it. So definitely a lot of dimension, clean paint all around. So just really well done. And, of course we get all the graphics on the knee pads, the trunks, just everything really well written. And just a great looking figure overall. Great loadout of accessories as to be expected. So let's jump right in. And first of all, let's look at hands. So right out of the box, we get our standard C grips. Then we get a pair of kind of gorilla press / just splayed out hands. And finally, a pair of pointing fingers. Then going on to head sculpts, we get the one we looked at before. So we get the full paint, the kind of pursed lips, kind of like, I guess, exhaling face. Very common feature of the Ultimate Warrior. And then we get a second equally as intense and unpainted face, kind of post-match sort of look. So that's very cool, especially then the hair kind of matted down. Then we go into apparel and we get this kind of vest jacket, as you can see. So this is the WrestleMania 7 look. So he has the graphic of him staring down Macho Man Randy Savage. We see his face makeup and, Ultimate Warrior written on the front. And that collar with the kind of fire explosion sort of look. So very, very cool. And then we get the kind of shoulder overlay, if you will. So a lot of fringe, looks real in keeping with his actual ring gear. Ultimate Warrior on the front, and then the graphics of him gorilla press slamming Macho Man, and Macho Man actually dropping his elbow on him, which is an interesting addition, considering I guess the kind of the dichotomy there, the back and forth, and then we get his face paint on the back. So really cool looking piece, and that's accessories. Articulation here is absolutely beautiful, and this is actually where it kind of takes it away from being just a straight up repaint with different heads of that earlier mentioned Amazon exclusive Ultimate Warrior. So we'll get to that, and you can probably see that in the kick pose actually. Spoilers, I guess. So head, we are on our dumbbell joint, not really looking up because of our hair sculpt. We can look down all right, and we get a little bit of tilt. We do have those butterfly joints that are super, super smooth. These are the rubbery ones. That's, I guess, one of my few gripes with this figure is just that popping the arms off and putting them back is a little bit harder because of how rubbery the butterfly is. So worth keeping note of. Then our arms, we're coming out to our T. We have bicep swivel. We have double jointed elbows. We have hinge and swivel at the wrist, all horizontal. We have our ball joint at the diaphragm, so we're coming all the way around. Our swivel at the waist, and that means our crunch is about yay far forward, and our arch is much better back. Like I said, the swivel. And the hips is where things change. We now have drop downs in Ultimate Editions, which is incredible. It's interesting seeing how any lines handle this, but I think Mattel actually did a really good job here. It definitely allows us to get into perfect splits. So that's pretty cool. And as you can see, the standing kicks looks great as well. We have thigh swivel, double jointed knees, bringing us pretty much past 90, so the knee pads don't get in the way too much. We do get boot cut. And here's where things change, where because of all this fringe, we do not really get any point. And forward is definitely hard to do. Actually, I didn't warm up these ankles. I apologize for that, but we're not really getting any movement anyway because of the sculpt. Then we get a toe joint and the slightest bit of rocker. So that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other WWE figures, with some other wrestling lines, with some Hasbro and Mattel, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as Valverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the WWE Ultimate Edition 15 Ultimate Warrior figure is that it absolutely rules, and it is absolutely Mattel just continuing to bring it with the Ultimate Edition line. And the addition of the drop downs is actually very much welcome. Occasionally it seems like certain figure lines just kind of add that because it's a thing to do, whether it's effective or not. However, it definitely is effective here, and I'm definitely excited to see where this goes. I think the first figure they actually revealed to have the drop down hips, at least as far as I saw, was the Bret Hart one that isn't even out yet. But this was a pleasant surprise and absolutely just a kick-ass figure. So if you're a fan of the Ultimate Warrior, if you're a fan of just 80s/90s WWE and WCW to that extent, absolutely pick this up. It's definitely worth it. It's a great figure. The Ultimate Editions in general are great. So yeah, I will have links in the description below to where you can pick up yours if you are so interested. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and/or sharing, and especially subscribing because I am trying to hit that fabled 1,000 so I can just move on and get to the next level here on YouTube. So, it's greatly appreciated and I love having you here. So I definitely hope you found this review helpful. So all of that being said, I hope to see you, because I'm here multiple times a week with multiple reviews of figures related to Toku, dinosaurs, monsters, and wrestling. So yeah, I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.